Senator, on behalf of the 480,000 men and women of the National Guard of the United States, we present this to a most worthy recipient. Thank you for all that you've done for us.
You said in your remarks, and if you can elaborate a little bit, what you have seen members of the Delaware National Guard doing during your trips to Iraq, Afghanistan, responses here, and how that has driven, the whole mission has driven them, driven all, a lot of people in the area of service in general.
Well, there's kind of and I don't know because I wasn't around, but there's kind of the attitude is like the regular Army and regular Air Force, and then there's the Guard. And what I found right off from the beginning of the trips was that the Guard was doing a great job and was recognizing the Army and the Air Force is doing a great job, because it wasn't just that they were well trained, because they were well trained and they were motivated, but it's also they brought their civilian skills to bear on many of the problems. And the example I gave in my acceptance was the 261st Single Brigade, which was stationed in Baghdad. And when I went over there, they had a state-of-the-art communication system up there, and the Army admitted that they were doing things that it wasn't even in the Army book, because many of the members of that unit are in the private sector working for different companies, communications companies here in Delaware. So time and again I found that the Guard does a special job of fulfilling the military part of their mission, but also bringing these incredible civilian skills that they've learned to any project they're involved in.
What goes on involving the elected officials in Washington, the military bases and personnel across the country, that makes it important for to look out for a state like Delaware and the involvement of the military, the presence of the military? Well,
everybody has a representative and two senators, and there's 435 members of Congress, so to a certain extent it's like everything else in life. You have to call attention to what your unit or your organization in Delaware is doing. Fortunately for me, I was on the Armed Services Committee. I was the first Delawarean ever to serve in the Senate Armed Services Committee, so it's a lot easier for me because that's where most of the important decisions are being made. So it's just everyone has an interest. Every state has an interest. The vast majority of them are good interests, but it's always good to have somebody know the ropes to go in there and figure out how you can make sure that Delaware gets, its fair share, and frankly gets more of its fair share.
Where does this event today rank with you? You have this, you have homecomings and things like that. And then we're talking about 2 years as a senator, but also a long time as a staff member there too.
No, it's great, and the reason it's great is because who it's coming from. The fact that it's coming from the National Guard, and I know the sacrifices they make and the sacrifices their family make. I mean, you can't get away from when you go to Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, just the creature comforts, not just the chance of being harmed, but also just the lives they live and the sacrifices they make. I mean, you don't go down to the mall when you want something, and I think they do this for the United States, and I think it makes a statement about the United States, and it makes me proud to be with them, and it makes me proud the United States can motivate citizens to go and do what they do. And so it's just a great day for me because I so respect the people that are giving me the award.